Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be installing the Furitek plug-and-play brushless motor system into my SCX24 Forerunner. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of the body and make more room for us to work. We're going to unplug the lights and set the body to the side. Next, we're going to get rid of all this wire. I have it all zip tied together, so we're going to use a pair of scissors to get the zip ties off and clean all the wire out of there for the lights. Next, we're going to remove the battery tray. And then we're going to remove the current engine and transmission. There's 2 screws on the bottom and 1 screw on the top that has to come out. And then the motor comes right out. We're going to have to remove the drive shafts from the motor. And then we're going to disassemble the motor and transmission, and I've got some steel gears that are going in the transmission. I'm also putting in this brass skid plate and these trio brass side weights that I had laying around. We're going to take out the current skid plate, undo all the links, and we're going to reinstall it with the brass skid plate and putting the side weights back on. And it's all ready to go for the new motor install. This is the Furitek plug-and-play system. This is how it came in this little plastic box. It comes with a transmission mount, motor mount. Then it comes with a motor, an ESC, and a receiver. And this binds right to your SLT2 controller. It also came with 2 screws for the motor and a plug, a JST 2.0 plug. But to run your lights, you're going to need a JST 1.25 millimeter plug. That's what the ESC takes. This is a JST 2.0 plug, so it doesn't fit in the light socket. So next we're going to disassemble the motor and transmission. And since I'm putting metal gears in it, we have to take it all the way apart. The transfer case is next. We're going to take that apart. You're going to need all your bearings. If you're not replacing the gears in the transfer case, you can just skip that. You don't need to take it apart. It's going to bolt right up next to the Furitek motor mount. But since I'm putting steel gears in, I'm going to rebuild the transfer case with steel gears. Put them back in the transfer case. And then reassemble the transfer case. And then the transfer case is going to screw right into the back of the Furitek motor mount. Next, you need to put the spur gear in. After you get the transfer case mounted to the back of the Furitek motor mount, the next thing is you put the spur gear in. Make sure that the spur gear is in correctly. So it has two sides. One side is flat, the other side has a dimple around where the spline inserts. Make sure the dimple goes towards the transfer case, or you'll have binding issues. Then the Furitek motor comes with two screws to mount the motor. They're 1.5 millimeter, so you have to be careful with them because they will strip real easy. So you don't want to tighten it down too tight. You just want to make sure you get your mesh correct and then snug them up. They don't need to be super tight. Next, we're going to put the drive shafts in. Now, I had the battery relocation kit in my Forerunner, but it's not going to work, so I've got to ditch that. We're going to line the drive shafts up, make sure they're clocked correctly, and then we're going to put the motor in. It takes a minute to get them lined up and to get the motor in. So now we got the motor in, we're going to start screwing it down. The best advice I can give you is just make sure you take your time and make sure the engine is meshed correctly to the spur gear. Now I had to put the battery tray in the back again, and I had to mount the electronics back there with the battery. The electronics are super small, the ESC and receiver, so with the battery sideways, everything fit perfectly. I'm just making sure the body's going to go over top of it okay. I'm running a 3S Fedco battery. And I'm going to mount everything with double-sided tape and Velcro the battery in. So when you get this Furitek plug-and-play system, there's a little tiny inserted switch on the ESC for on and off. It's very small and it's inserted into the body. You can't hardly see it. So don't freak out when you plug your battery in and nothing happens. Make sure you turn that switch on. Now I'm hooking up the lights. I had a JST 1.25 millimeter plug, so I just ran that into my lights, and the lights are all working. So now we're going to clean up all these wires and reinsert the body onto the frame. So the body's back in, and we're going to push these extra wires out of the way for the battery. The Fedco battery comes with multiple plug-ins, so you can run it with the SCX24 or the SCX24. See how the lights are working? I'm going to push the body back together, close it. I really like the closing system on this Forerunner. It's much better than Velcro. And now we're ready to test it out. This is what it looks like when it's all done. You've got the 3S battery back there, the electronics mounted on the battery tray. I've cut the battery tray back a little bit, so everything fits on the cut off battery tray just fine. And now we're going to test out this crawling with this brushless system. It's smooth as butter. It took about 4 days for the engine to get here once it shipped. I bought it back in February, but it didn't ship until April 5th, which is Monday. By Thursday, I had it. I hope you liked this video, and thanks for watching.